Thank you very much, Dustin. It's very nice to be with everyone here today and watching back. My name is David Hawkins. I am the founder and one of the directors of the University Guys. We are a team of independent educational consultants based here in the United Kingdom, working with students and families all over the world to support them make global university applications. The focus of my brief talk tonight is going to be some key features and reasons why students from the United States should consider making application to full bachelor's degrees in the UK and Europe. It's an option that we believe more students should be aware of, and at the University Guys, we are here to help ease that process. One of the key things to understand when you are looking to come to university for your bachelor's degree on this side of the Atlantic is that we are playing a different game. In exactly the same way as what you might call football and what we might call football does not describe the same sport. In fact, it is almost completely different. What we are doing with a bachelor's degree on the UK or the European Union is a very different experience from what you might be used to in the United States. And so I'm going to outline a little bit about how those differences can perhaps make for an outcome for you or your child that is very different and perhaps even more successful than you might be able to find staying in the United States. If you are looking to study your undergraduate degree in the UK or the EU, you are going to be doing a very different style of academics. We do not have general education or distribution requirements. It is a single or joint honours degree that is very focused. Now, because it is typically around one or two subject areas, students will be required to do a lot of independent study as part of their degree. It also, however, means that we have very predictable outcomes and very straightforward application systems. It might astonish some of you listening that the university you see there, my alma mater, the University of Oxford, has a 17% admit rate, which when you compare it to peer institutions in the United States, who typically only accept 3 to 6% of their applicants, you can see how these straightforward, very simple application systems can lead potentially to better chances of getting into world-leading institutions when you're applying to universities outside of the United States. We also have very flexible degrees, including things like a year abroad, work placements, and in the STEM fields, the ability to do a 3+1 integrated master's degree. Yes, come out with a full bachelor's and master's degree pathway from the UK or Europe in 4 years in the same time that a full bachelor's degree would typically be awarded in the United States. And this is because actually, in the spirit of it being a different game, what students are applying to do in a UK or European degree is fundamentally different from it is in the United States. The question that the admissions office is seeking to answer is not, are you a fit for our institution, but are you a fit for our curriculum? And that curriculum is typically one subject, possibly two, possibly three in Scotland. But it's like going out and ordering the set menu of a restaurant. You're already choosing something that's been designed for you, very different from the buffet style you might find in the United States with that flexibility. And so students are coming to do a defined degree. You'll find these screenshots here from ucas.com, the UK's version of the Common App. If you are going to study English and history, that is what you are studying. No science, no math, no arts, no phys ed. If you're going to do finance, 100% of your classes, every single thing you would do is finance. And so because of that, we have completely predictable outcomes. Those requirements that I will show you on the next slide mean that we have a filter. Also, students are limited in the number of applications they can make. The UK, for example, limits students to only making 5 applications, which forces people to be more targeted and realistic. Offers are also going to be conditional on students either having or going on to have AP test scores, which stops students from overshooting, which means that with the students that we work with, typically they gain at least 75% of the university places they apply to. And quite often students are getting into every single university they apply to. It's because of systems like this. This is a screenshot from mechanical engineering at the University of Bath. You can see in order to be considered for that course, you must have 3 5s in 3 APs, including Calculus BC and 2 different physics tests. If you don't have those, you don't bother applying because you will be rejected. And this entry requirement process is very common across the UK and Europe, allowing a very predictable process for students to go through. Now, what else don't we have in a UK or European degree? We don't have sports. That is not a way of being recruited into university, and sports is not really a big thing in university culture over here. We typically don't have merit scholarships, apart from very isolated examples. We don't have school spirit, and we don't really have legacy or development recruitment. But what we do have is professional pathways in subjects you might not find in the US. You can come and do a bachelor's degree in things like medicine and law, very simple application procedures, and a much less stressful process. We have much cheaper degrees than you might find in the United States, typically at least half the price in the UK, much cheaper in the European Union. And if you have an EU passport, it could be as cheap as about 2,000 euros a year. And we at the University Guys are here to help you build your list, work through the process, and most importantly, work with your high school. If you'd like to find out a little bit more about us, please reach out to me via david@theuniversityguys.com or visit our website, as you can see on the screen. Thank you very much for your attention, and I'll hand back to Dustin.